Welcome to Healer Recaps. Please like and subscribe to the channel to support me, thank you very much. In Hong Kong, there was a place called Kowloon Walled City, which was considered the most chaotic place in the world about 30 years ago. Every day, gangs would fight each other to claim territory. The purges here were extremely brutal, with many gangsters losing their lives daily. In Kowloon Walled City, there were 3 notorious brothers, the eldest, One-Eyed Dragon, the second brother, a Thursday, and finally, the youngest, Wind-Rolling Dragon, who was the best martial artist around. The 3 brothers teamed up to defeat all the other gangs, and together, they ruled Kowloon Walled City until one day, a hitman named Chien suddenly appeared. He was so skilled it was earth-shattering, every slash he made claimed a life. That day, Chien captured the second brother, a Thursday, and locked him in a cage, even capturing a Thursday's wife and 2 children. On the orders of the big boss, Chien killed the 3 right in front of a Thursday, driving a Thursday into an extreme rage. The eldest brother came to rescue his younger brother, but was also blinded in one eye by the Assassin King. The youngest brother, Long Win Fong, then arrived to fight the Assassin King. Both were top martial artists, equally matched, and fought for half a day without either conceding. Finally, Long Win Fong won and could have killed Chien, but in the end, he did not. It turned out that the 2 were sworn brothers from childhood and did not want to harm each other, but the feuds of the underworld had to be resolved. The Assassin King proposed that both of them blindfold themselves, and if he died, Long Win Fong should help his wife and children escape from there. The 2 friends, after blindfolding themselves, engaged in a life-and-death battle, and in the end, Long Win Fong killed his best friend. Keeping his promise, he helped the Assassin King's wife and children escape from Hong Kong and gave them a large sum of money to return to the mainland. 20 years later, the Assassin King's son had grown up. Every day, Lac Quan fought in the free tavern, knocking out every opponent, thanks to inheriting his father's genes. Lac Quan fought to earn money to buy a Hong Kong ID card. The big boss there, Hong Kim Bao, took the money and promised that Lac Quan would have his ID card in 2 weeks. Lac Quan fled to Hong Kong illegally, so he had to run away every time he saw the police. 2 weeks later, Lac Quan went to the big boss, Hong Kim Bao, to get his ID card. Hong Kim Bao was a rogue who committed all sorts of crimes. Lac Quan saw piles of cash at Hong Kim Bao's place. Hong Kim Bao threw the ID card to Lac Quan, but he realized it was a fake. Lac Quan got angry and wanted his money back, but he couldn't do anything about it. The long-haired henchman chased Lac Quan away. Furious, Lac Quan grabbed the henchman's money bag and ran away. Hong Kim Bao and his men, armed with weapons, chased after him, and Lac Quan ran for his life. Being new to Hong Kong, Lac Quan didn't know the way, and he ended up running straight into Kowloon Walled City, the very place where Long Win Fong had helped him escape years ago. He never expected to return here one day. The big boss's henchmen saw Kowloon Walled City and quickly stopped. It was a place they didn't dare to invade, so they could only stand outside and ask the people inside to catch him. Inside, Long Win Fong and his 2 brothers, now a bit older, still ruled Kowloon Walled City together. However, the second brother, a Thursday, had never forgotten the old grudge. Every day, a Thursday looked at pictures of his wife and children, determined to find the Assassin King's son to take revenge. Blood debt must be repaid with blood, no matter what. A Thursday must avenge this grudge. Meanwhile, Lac Quan was hiding in the city, and when he opened the money bag, he discovered it was full of white powder. It was too late to realize he had taken the wrong bag. Seeing someone next to him using drugs, Lac Quan risked bringing the powder to the local drug dealers to exchange for some money. Unexpectedly, the gangsters there thought he was trying to take over their territory, leading to a fierce fight. Fortunately, Lac Quan, who had been fighting every day, managed to take on all the gangsters by himself. However, as soon as he ran outside, he encountered Not Tin, the guardian of Kowloon Walled City. Not Tin was also a highly skilled martial artist, with top-notch knife skills, and the most trusted person of Long Win Fong. Realizing he couldn't fight Not Tin, Lac Quan chose to run to save his life and ended up running straight into the house of the big boss. Out of options, Lac Quan took Long Win Fong hostage. The henchman, seeing this, didn't bother chasing anymore, knowing that Lac Quan's chances of survival were slim. Indeed, Long Win Fong effortlessly broke Lac Quan's arm with a light twist, then used his leg to deliver a powerful strike, sending Lac Quan flying. His arm broken, Lac Quan was like a fish on a chopping block. Fortunately, Long Wen Fong was a kind-hearted man. Not only did he spare Lac Quan's life, but he also promised to help him deal with Hong Kim Bao. Meanwhile, Hong Kim Bao, who was sleeping, woke up with a start to find Long Wen Fong mysteriously sitting next to him. The fat man intended to draw his knife first, but Long Wen Fong said he had come to return the goods and added some extra money as compensation, hoping Hong Kim Bao would let the young man off. Unexpectedly, the fat man was a despicable scoundrel. He threatened Long Wen Fong, saying if he didn't hand over the person, he would destroy Kowloon Walled City. Long Wen Fong, unafraid of anyone, told the fat man to go ahead and try. Meanwhile, Lac Quan was helped by a masked man, who reset his dislocated arm. The scar-faced man was also a martial arts master in Kowloon Walled City and a close friend of Not 10. Lac Quan was taken in by Long Wen Fong and given shelter in Kowloon Walled City. He worked there daily to make a living, and Long Wen Fong grew very fond of him. However, the peaceful days did not last long. The masked man, while examining Long Wen Fong, discovered that he had terminal lung cancer and likely only had a month to live. Long Wen Fong went to see his second brother to persuade him to give up the old grudge and stop seeking revenge on the son of the Assassin King. However, his second brother, a Thursday, remained stubborn. He even said that he had already found out the name of the Assassin King's son, Tran Lac Quan, and immediately sent his men to search for anyone with that name. The notable fact is that the fat man, Hong Kim Bao, had long wanted to take over Kowloon Walled City, and this time he had a golden opportunity. Hong Kim Bao went to meet a Thursday, saying that he knew who the Assassin King's son was. After speaking, he handed over Lac Quan's ID card to a Thursday. Upon seeing the son of his enemy, a Thursday's face turned pale because he recognized this as the person his younger brother was sheltering. Hong Kim Bao, seeing this, instigated, saying that Long Wen Fong was hiding the enemy, to stab a Thursday in the back. He offered to help a Thursday eliminate Long Wen Fong and Tran Lac Quan if he was given half of Kowloon Walled City. On the other side, Long Wen Fong also knew that Lac Quan was the boy he had saved years ago. He smirked, thinking it was fate. He immediately ordered 2 of his men to quickly take Lac Quan away. He also told Lac Quan the story of years past. After finishing, he told his men to take Lac Quan away immediately, but before they could leave, a Thursday had already arrived with his men. The one-eyed elder brother also appeared. A Thursday accused Long Wen Fong of hiding their enemy, but Long Wen Fong remained silent. Seeing this, the elder brother ordered his men to attack. Long Wen Fong signaled his men to stand down. He could not directly confront a Thursday and could only let Lac Quan use his own skills to survive. The one-eyed elder brother, known as the One-Eyed Dragon, directly engaged, with each move being incredibly powerful. However, Lac Quan was no pushover. He lifted the elder brother and slammed him to the ground. The elder brother's men rushed forward with knives to surround him. Lac Quan grabbed a broom and fought back fiercely. The fight was extremely intense, with every strike intended to kill. Lac Quan, thanks to his rich combat experience, single-handedly defeated all the elder brother's men. Seeing this, a Thursday charged at Lac Quan. Though old, his strength was formidable, and with just 2 punches, he had Lac Quan writhing in pain on the floor, proving his reputation as one of the 3 Tiger Generals. In a desperate moment, Lac Quan managed to stand up, but continued to take hits from a Thursday. Long Wen Fong, watching, could do nothing. Lac Quan was completely defeated. A Thursday pinned Lac Quan to the floor, trying to strangle him to death. In a desperate moment, Lac Quan reached for a knife and counterattacked, quickly turning the tables. Lac Quan grabbed a Thursday's leg and slammed him to the floor, swiftly gaining the upper hand. After all, a Thursday was old and couldn't match Lac Quan's stamina, ultimately being completely defeated by the young man. Lac Quan held the knife, ready to continue fighting a Thursday, but was punched away by Long Wen Fong. A Thursday still wanted to kill Lac Quan, but Long Wen Fong persistently stopped him. Eventually, a Thursday stabbed Lac Quan, wounding him severely. Long Wen Fong's men rushed in, almost killing a Thursday if it weren't for Long's timely intervention. A Thursday, humiliated by his defeat, swore to avenge this grudge. Long Wen Fong hadn't expected things to escalate this far, fearing an impending catastrophe. Indeed, a Thursday immediately sought out Hong Kim Bao. Hong Kim Bao's henchman, a long-haired rogue, sat arrogantly on the throne in his boss's absence. Annoyed, Hong Kim Bao stubbed out his cigarette in the long-haired henchman's eye. A Thursday asked Hong Kim Bao to kill Lac Quan, offering him half of Kowloon Walled City in return. Hong Kim Bao eagerly accepted. Meanwhile, as everyone was finishing bandaging Lak Quan, Long Wen Fong urged everyone to leave quickly as the enemies were on their way. Just as he finished speaking, he had a coughing fit, indicating that his cancer was reaching its critical stage. At that moment, Hong Kim Bao and his men arrived. Inside, everyone hadn't had time to leave before the gangsters flooded in, surrounding the market and searching everywhere for Lak Quan. The elder brother, upon hearing of the chaos in Kowloon walled city, immediately sent his best bodyguard to assist Long Wen Fong. On this side, Long Wen Fong led his men to the market. The arrogant long-haired thug boasted that he had brought 3,000 men today, and if they didn't hand over the person, it would be the end of Long Wen Fong. Long Wen Fong instructed his men to protect the civilians, while he and Not Tin went to confront the scoundrel Hong Kim Bao. Hong Kim Bao produced the deed of sale for Kowloon walled city from a Thursday, saying that this area now belonged to him, and if they were wise, they should bring Lak Quan out for him to deal with. While Long Wen Fong stayed to buy time, Scarface used a cart to help Lak Quan escape. On the way, they encountered assassins, and Scarface had a tough time holding them off. A henchman reported to Hong Kim Bao, saying they had found Lak Quan's location. The long-haired thug wanted to leave but was hit by a palm strike from Long Wen Fong, forcing him to retreat through the back. Long Wen Fong stayed to fight Hong Kim Bao, but due to his lung cancer, he soon showed signs of weakness. Not Tin also arrived to support Scarface, and together they quickly defeated many assassins, but unexpectedly, the long-haired thug rushed in and knocked Not Tin down. Not Tin drew a knife to attack, but was still unsuccessful and had several fingers cut off by the long-haired thug. The long-haired thug had trained an iron body, making him as tough as steel. Meanwhile, Hong Kim Bao had blocked their path, and just as he was about to strike, Long Wen Fong arrived in time to assist. Long Wen Fong fought with Hong Kim Bao to give his men time to take Lak Quan away, and the two martial arts masters battled fiercely. Scarface hadn't managed to flee when the long-haired thug caught up. His iron body made punches ineffective, and he quickly defeated Scarface. In a critical moment, Not Tin arrived just in time to rescue them. Together, they attacked the long-haired thug, but in the end, they were all defeated. At this point, the elder brother's men rushed in and hacked at the long-haired thug, but due to his iron body, regular weapons couldn't harm him. The long-haired thug quickly defeated all three, then picked up a knife to finish off Lak Quan. Not Tin tried to hold him off, but to no avail. Meanwhile, Long Wen Fong was still fighting Hong Kim Bao, but exhausted and weakened, he couldn't hold out for long and was finally struck down by a powerful blow from the fat villain. In a critical moment, a bald man rushed in to fight Hong Kim Bao, trying every way to buy time. Taking advantage of the opportunity, Long Wen Fong went to stop the long-haired thug. Before long, the bald man was defeated. Enraged, Long Wen Fong grabbed a hammer and struck the fat man, then used all his strength to break 6 of Hong Kim Bao's ribs. Although the fat man collapsed, Long Wen Fong's lung cancer caused him to cough up blood. The long-haired thug took the opportunity to stab Long Wen Fong in the stomach, leaving everyone in agony as they watched him near death. Knowing he wouldn't survive, Long Wen Fong mustered all his strength to throw the Iron Man into the house, then used his last bit of energy to close the door. He wedged his hands into the door, refusing to let go even as the long-haired thug hacked him apart. Long Wen Fong only shouted for his men outside to quickly take Lak Quan and flee. Not Tin, determined not to let Long's sacrifice be in vain, hurriedly took Lak Quan away. The long-haired thug had to use a saw to cut Long Wen Fong's hands to open the door. 3 days later, Lak Quan woke up in the hospital, but without an ID, he was arrested by the police. A Thursday returned to Long Wen Fong's place, saddened that his quest for revenge had led to his younger brother's death. At this moment, Hong Kim Bao and his men appeared. A Thursday told Hong Kim Bao that if he hadn't killed Tran Lak Quan, he should leave immediately, but the scoundrel Hong Kim Bao had long wanted to seize this place. The big bosses here had all been eliminated by him in the past few days. A Thursday, now completely powerless, was suddenly hit on the head with a hammer by the long-haired thug. Quickly, A Thursday was caged, finding himself in the same situation as years before. Seeing the long-haired thug act on his own, Hong Kim Bao was annoyed but didn't dare to do anything. Now he was injured and weaker than his subordinates. The long-haired thug then expelled half of the residents from Kowloon walled city, taking over their homes to receive future compensation from the government. Because of Long Wen Fong's punch, Hong Kim Bao was severely injured. The long-haired thug, wanting to take over as boss, came to kill Hong Kim Bao in the middle of the night. The treacherous fat man quickly lost his life. From then on, the long-haired thug ruled Kowloon Walled City, turning it into a place for drug trafficking, while the residents lived in hellish conditions. 3 months later, Tran Lat Quan was released, as the police discovered that his mother was from Hong Kong, and he was issued an ID card. Lat Quan immediately sought out the 3 who had saved him before. After the coup, they had temporarily hidden in a swamp. The 4 of them agreed to return and reclaim Kowloon Walled City. First, they had to prepare weapons, and that very night, they set off. Lat Quan infiltrated inside, informing a child, asking the child to tell everyone to hide in their houses. The child quickly spread the word, and people whispered to each other to quietly hide in their homes, while also burning white smoke to signal other residents. The gangsters were unaware of anything. From within the smoke, the 4 of them eliminated numerous enemies. In the square, the long-haired thug and his subordinates were partying, curious about the white smoke approaching. Out of nowhere, Lat Quan rushed out and furiously attacked, taking down many of the long-haired thug's men. His desire for revenge fueled his fighting like never before, and in a flash, he was at the long-haired thug's side. Unexpectedly, the thug's men fired at him, and Lat Quan had to flee. Not Tin used a motorcycle to take down 2 gunmen, and Scarface and the others quickly arrived. Thus began the fierce battle. Not Tin wielded a knife with lightning speed, and seeing this, Lat Quan also fought with all his might. The 4 of them worked together seamlessly, taking down countless enemies. Seeing the situation worsening, the long-haired thug pulled out a gun, forcing the 4 to retreat upstairs. The long-haired thug chased them with his gun, but Lat Quan suddenly jammed 2 steel rods into the barrel, rendering it useless, and he had to fight hand-to-hand. Lat Quan knew he couldn't defeat the long-haired thug alone, so he quickly fled, intending to lure him to the rooftop for the 4 of them to join forces. His 3 friends quickly understood his plan. Lat Quan soon lured him to the rooftop, but the iron body technique was too strong, and Lat Quan couldn't injure him. He even got kicked through a wall. Scarface rushed in with a mace, but to no avail. The 2 coordinated their attacks, but were merely playthings to the thug. At this moment, the 3rd brother thought of a way to tie him up. They used 4 ropes to bind his limbs, quickly forming a drawing and quartering position. Together, they lifted the long-haired thug high and slammed him to the ground like a game of jump rope. Unexpectedly, the iron body technique was too powerful, and he broke free, then single-handedly beat the 4 to a pulp. Each one was struck down by his blows. Scarface's sword and mouth were even broken by his teeth. All 4 were soon lying in defeat, and at this rate, they would all die. Lat Quan risked his life, grabbing the thug and jumping off the building together. However, Not Tin didn't want him to die, so he held the rope. Both dangled below, and Lat Quan stabbed with a knife, but the thug used his mouth to break it. Lat Quan then forced the thug to swallow a shard of the knife. After that, Lat Quan was also struck by a deadly blow from the thug. The long-haired thug still had the strength to climb back up to the rooftop, intending to kill the 3 brothers. At the critical moment, Lat Quan grabbed a flag, using the wind to pull himself up. Lat Quan unexpectedly rushed in and punched the thug in the stomach, causing the knife shard to pierce through from the inside. The iron body technique was broken. Taking advantage of this, everyone attacked relentlessly, finally injuring him. The scoundrel was completely defeated. Lat Quan handed the knife to Not Tin, signaling him to avenge their boss. The 4 brothers successfully rescued the Kowloon Citadel. Together they dominated the city, and returned peace to the people. This is the end of the video. Goodbye, and see you again.